The rope burns where it circles her wrists. Cassia is 26 years old, and until 9 days ago her hands had never known anything rougher than silk, parchment, or the smooth stone balustrades of her father's palace. Now coarse hemp cuts into skin, softened by a lifetime of comfort, each small movement reminding her that the world she understood no longer exists. The stable reeks of animals and decay, of old straw soaked with years of waste. It is a place meant for beasts, not people, and certainly not for the eldest daughter of a king. The building squats at the edge of the Roman camp, deliberately distant, as if what happens inside should not contaminate the order and discipline of the legion beyond its walls. Through the warped wooden planks she can hear her sisters. They are not screaming yet. That sound will come later. What she hears now is the thin, broken keening of terror that precedes screaming, the sound made when the mind understands danger but cannot yet accept its shape. Leodice's voice trembles, rising and falling as she tries to control her breathing. Nisa's is quieter, more fragile, the sound of someone forcing silence because noise feels like surrender. Cassia closes her eyes and inhales slowly through her nose, counting the breaths the way her tutors once taught her during moments of courtly stress. Panic will not help them. Panic never has. 9 days ago she was Princess Cassia of Pontes, eldest daughter of King Mithridates, raised in halls overlooking the Black Sea where marble floors stayed cool even in summer, and the walls were painted with scenes of victories that now mean nothing. She was educated in Greek philosophy, Persian poetry, and the subtle violence of diplomacy. She spoke 6 languages. She understood treaties, marriages, alliances, and betrayals. She was betrothed to an Armenian prince whose kingdom would have doubled her father's power. She was meant to rule. She was meant to decide the fates of others, not wait helplessly for her own. That life ended when Rome decided it should. Her father had believed resistance was possible. He had built coalitions, disrupted Roman trade routes, challenged governors who grew complacent on the empire's edge. He had won 3 battles, and those victories became his death sentence. Rome forgave submission. It did not forgive humiliation. The 4th battle crushed him. His sons died on the field. His cities burned. His daughters were dragged from the ruins, alive because Rome preferred living symbols to dead ones. Roman soldiers move around Cassia with the efficiency of men performing familiar tasks. They check ropes, adjust straps, exchange brief instructions. Their movements are practiced, unhurried. None of them look at her face. She is not a woman to them, not a princess, not even an enemy. She is a component in a process, a necessary part of a demonstration meant to outlive her. Through a narrow gap in the slats she can see into the adjacent stall. Leodice is bound to a post, her arms pulled behind her so tightly her body is forced forward. Her hair clings to her cheeks, dark with sweat and tears she no longer wipes away. Her eyes stare ahead without focus, as if she has already retreated somewhere Cassia cannot reach. Beyond her, in the next stall, Nisa trembles so violently that Cassia can see it from a distance. She is 18, slight, still carrying traces of childhood in her movements, her entire body shaking as if it understands what her mind cannot yet fully name. And in each stall stand the horses. They are large cavalry animals, chosen deliberately for size and temperament. They stamp and snort, restless, held by handlers who know exactly what these animals will do when released. Cassia has heard of this punishment. Every kingdom bordering Rome has. It is spoken of in whispers, used to frighten ambitious sons and stubborn kings into obedience. Rome does not merely conquer territory. It engineers terror. Some punishments are designed to kill. Others are designed to be remembered. This is one of those. Her sisters did nothing except be born to a man who challenged the wrong empire. A man enters the stable. His armor marks him as senior command, polished but worn by years of campaign. His face carries the expression of someone who has seen too much to be shocked by cruelty. His eyes move over the scene with professional interest, like a craftsman inspecting tools rather than witnessing preparation for atrocity. General Lucius Cornelius Krauss. Cassia recognizes him immediately. He stood at the surrender. He watched her father kneel in chains and listened without expression as a translator explained the fates awaiting his daughters. "The youngest first," Krauss says to an officer beside him, his tone casual. 18 is old enough. Her screams will motivate the others. "Nisa." The word strikes Cassia like a blow to the chest. Fear has held her frozen since capture, but something else pushes through it now, something older and harder than terror. She has protected her sisters her entire life. She taught Leonidas to read when tutors lost patience. She held Nisa through nights of grief after their mother died. She stood between them and the cruelty of court politics, between them and a father who loved them but treated them as assets. She will not stop now. "General Krauss." Her voice cuts through the stable, steady despite everything. Soldiers pause, surprised. Prisoners do not speak unless ordered. Krauss turns slowly. Curiosity replaces dismissal. "The Pontic princess speaks," he says. "What could you possibly say that would interest me?" "An offer," Cassia replies. "One that benefits you more than listening to children scream." That earns his attention. "Take me instead," she says. "All of it, everything you planned for them, concentrated on one body." Krauss studies her openly. "3 are more entertaining than 1, he says. "Why would I accept less?" "Because I have information," Cassia answers. "Hidden treasuries, Parthian supply routes, names of Roman officers my father bribed during the war, intelligence worth more than this display." She watches calculation replace cruelty in his eyes. Romans are pragmatic. Even their brutality serves purpose. "I could extract that information by force," he says. "You could try," Cassia replies calmly. "But I know how to die quickly. Torture me and you gain nothing. Accept my offer and you gain wealth and influence beyond this campaign." Silence stretches. Then Krauss smiles, and the smile is worse than anger. "You understand what you are offering to endure," he says. "I understand it will not be quick. And your sisters will watch." Cassia feels her stomach revolt, but she forces herself to nod. If they are truly spared, if they are given safety, not slavery, not sale. Define safety. Send them to Rome, to a household that will treat them as guests rather than property. Krauss considers, then nods once. Agreed. Soldiers begin to move toward her. Then another voice interrupts. "General." A younger officer steps forward, a tribune, his expression thoughtful rather than eager. He argues quietly that intelligence loses value if its source breaks too quickly, that cooperation requires belief in survival, that Rome gains more from patience than haste. Krauss listens, weighing entertainment against advantage. Finally, he waves a hand. "Delay the preparations, extract the intelligence first." Cassia exhales for the first time in days. This is not salvation, it is postponement. But postponement is time, and time is everything. Cassia is moved from the stable before dawn, her sisters taken to a guarded tent where they are given water, food, and clean garments. The sight of them standing unbound, shaken but alive, steadies her more than any promise. She is brought to an officer's tent furnished with a table, maps, and writing tools. Tribune Marcus Antonius Priscus oversees the first questioning. He does not threaten her. He listens. Cassia understands immediately that this is a different kind of danger. She begins with truths that can be verified, then layers in omissions and delays. A treasury beneath a temple already looted to establish credibility. Another near Amizos, real and valuable, drawn carefully on the map. A third hinted at beyond the Euphrates, complicated, political, slow to confirm. Each detail buys time. Each pause keeps her sisters safe another day. The pattern settles quickly. Mornings are interrogation. Afternoons are brief visits with Leonidas and Nisa under guard. The terror in their eyes fades into something harder and quieter. Cassia teaches them how to survive by calculation, how to speak little, observe much, and attach themselves to usefulness. Priscus argues to General Krauss that proximity to her sisters ensures cooperation. Krauss agrees, resentful but practical. Scouts confirm the Amizos treasury. Cassia's value rises. Orders from Rome arrive 3 weeks later. The Senate wants her brought to the capital for formal inquiry into Parthian affairs. Her sisters are included. Krauss protests, then submits. Before release, he demands a public ceremony to assert authority. Cassia agrees without hesitation. Pride is expendable. At dawn, the camp assembles. Cassia kneels before Krauss, speaks the words of submission he has written, crawls forward, kisses his boots. The soldiers watch, her sisters watch. Cassia feels something break and harden at the same time. The ceremony ends. She is allowed to stand. The ledger gains another entry, cost paid. Survival continues. The journey to Rome is long. Priscus warns her of the triumph. She prepares her sisters for crowds, for hatred, for endurance measured in hours. The procession is worse than imagined. Chains bind wrists to ankles. Rotten food and stones fly. Voices scream promises and insults until words lose meaning. When Nyssa falls, Cassia shields her, forcing a pause through calm threat and reputation. They finish together. After the triumph, they are not killed. Cassia's intelligence proves useful. She and her sisters are housed in a senator's residence, not free but protected. Cassia translates, advises, explains the East to men who rule it poorly. Leonidas learns management. Nyssa learns music and restraint. Years pass. Priscus advances. Cassia remains hollowed yet standing. She has not been saved, she has been exchanged. Her sisters live. That is the balance.